Respectability politics are a cultural, social, and political concept that places pressure on marginalized groups to conform rather than to challenge the status quo. The term itself was coined by one Evelyn Brooks Higginbotham in her book, The Righteous Discontent, the Women's Movement in the Black Baptist Church. Basically, what this concept describes, it was an attempt in the late 1800s to assimilate by Black communities by basically setting aside any cultural or moral practices thought to be overall disrespected by the broader white community. Some leftists, mostly liberals, tend to see the system as sound, just with some flaws that need a little bit of fixing. This belief typically translates into efforts to reform existing structures such as police departments, prisons, and other institutions of the state. So liberals in general cling to politeness because they still believe in reform. They believe in that incremental change and working within an existing system rather than fundamentally changing it and transforming it. This is often expressed through calls for polite discourse, compromise, gradual reform, and as opposed to more radical action or confrontation. The overall problem with this is that respectability politics places the blame for systemic injustices on the behaviors or actions of the marginalized group or person, rather than addressing the systemic issues that created that inequality in the first place. It diverts attention from these societal problems and instead focuses on changing the behavior of those most impacted by the problems. Now, me personally, I've been coming up against this more and more as my account gets bigger. People seem to forget that everyone, including activists, have personal boundaries and limited amounts of time and energy to answer all these questions. On a completely unrelated video, someone asked me what a veteran abolitionist is. Now, that is something that is in my profile, so I responded with try Google. This person and then a friend of theirs went off in my comments, and it ended with someone asking for handouts, says they don't want to spoon feed answers. So what this is purely people who feel entitled to my time and energy because I am posting publicly. These individuals are expecting me to adhere to what they believe is respectable engagement, and when I fail to provide, they try to drag me down. The policing of language is a form of respectability politics, emphasizing conformity to societal norms like avoiding profanity. A very common instance of respectability politics that you will see at our own city councils is Kate Gallegos, our mayor, cutting off people for cursing.
Wild. I can't believe I've been here all day listening to this.
Please watch your language. Next
No,
is Amelia, followed by Rebecca News.
Mayor Kate. Shit on TV.
Practices like this not only silence voices, their concerns are never even fully acknowledged, and ultimately they're dismissed as unhinged or angry. Real change comes from acknowledging and addressing systemic issues, not from policing each other's manners or expecting acceptable responses. True progress involves open, honest, and sometimes uncomfortable conversations. Now, having open, honest, and uncomfortable conversations does not equate to me answering every question asked on this platform at any time. It's about engaging in meaningful discussions where parties are open to learning and growth, not just demanding information. Note that for paid officials, this is not the case. Do not at me, Vice Mayor. You need to answer the questions. In the meantime, I'm going to be rude. I'm going to be angry because people are dying.